Hey there, folks. Hope everyone is having a wonderful week post Labor Day, post holiday, back to school time. And for those of you who might be curious before I get to today's topic, I will give you a free prize. I will give you a little bit of a gift from the People Stack. If you could type in the comments, does anybody know what this sweatshirt is referring to? So it's a book. I'll give you that hint. So it involves talent pipes. So look, I got my talent pipes. I'm very, very, very proud of that. And I'll give you one more hint. On the back, let me see if I can get this here. On the back, it says the Eloian. So it's a book. Hi there, Kimberly. It's a book that involves getting talent pipes, and it involves a place called the Eloian, E-L-O-I-N. If you can name the book that this sweatshirt is based on, or this hoodie is based on, I'll give you a free gift, courtesy of the People Stack. So just go ahead and type in the comments if you know the book. With all that being said, the topic for this week is the frog in boiling water metaphor. I talked a little bit about this yesterday. The metaphor where it's essentially, are you in hot water and it's about to boil? Because if you put a frog right into boiling water, it's going to jump out. But if you put it in hot water and slowly increase the temperature, it's basically going to commit suicide. It's just because the increase in temperature is just so gradual, it's not even going to recognize it. Those incremental small shifts toward bad, and worse, and it's boiling, you're done. And so the question is, of the week, are you a frog in hot water and is it about to boil? And often we don't know that this is happening because we're inside our head. We're inside our own careers and it's hard for us to take a look at it. So I want to be the purveyor of truth here. I want to be the one who asks you, who challenges you, who invites you to take a hard look at your career. Is it in hot water? And another way to look at this is to frame it like, when you think about your tech career, are you thriving or are you merely surviving? And to know which one of the heuristics that I like to use a lot so that we don't overcomplicate it, so that the overcomplicating part of our brain doesn't take over, because it really is a very, very simple question. The Slow Regard of Silent Things by Patrick Rothfuss. It's the correct, that's the correct author, Kimberly. I'm gonna give you credit for that actually, because I don't know if I've read The Slow Regard of Silent Things, but he may actually refer to the talent pipes and the Eloian in that book. I'm thinking of his other books. So Patrick Rothfuss has a few other books out there, and of course now that I'm asked to put on the spot, I can't remember their names. So just give me 1 second. I'm on Amazon right now. So he has a few books. A Wise Man's Fear is actually what I was thinking of. The Name of the Wind. So that's kind of his series, The Name of the Wind and A Wise Man's Fear. The Slow Regard of Silent Things, King Killer Chronicle, book 2.5. Oh, I haven't read that one. Book 2.5. That's interesting. I love it. I will definitely give you credit for that one. Right, the King Killer Chronicles. Exactly. Yes. So Kimberly, you get a sticker. If you send me a Facebook message, just send me a private Facebook message with whatever address you want me to send that sticker to. I'll send you a sticker or 3 or 5. That's awesome. Love that there's other Patrick Rothfuss fans out there. So moving on, the question is, are you thriving in your tech career or are you surviving? And the heuristic that I like to use for these kinds of questions, so that the front part of our brain, the overthinking, over analytical can get in the way part of our brain doesn't get in the way, a heuristic that I love to use is hell yes or no. If it's not hell yes, I am absolutely thriving and I know it, and here's all the reasons why, then you're not thriving. So are you thriving in your tech career? Hell yes or no? Awesome, Kimberly. Enjoy the stickers. So yeah, like, are you thriving in your career right now? Do you really feel like you've reached, or you're at least on the path toward reaching your full potential? Your full potential in terms of the impact that you can make. Have you really reached that goal? What about in terms of your leadership, in terms of who you are as a leadership, and how in your ability of to build thriving, high-performing teams? Are you thriving there? Hell yes or no. What about job level? When you think about the level that you're at, I know that some of you may work for flatter organizations, some of you may work for more hierarchical organizations, but in this day and age, even the flattest of the flat, there are levels. There are levels in terms of, yes, impact, but in terms of like job titles, for sure. Manager, senior manager, director, senior director, VP, CTO. And there's also levels in terms of who might get first dibs on the most exciting projects. Have you really reached your full potential? Are you thriving in terms of the level that you're at? If your tech career were a video game, are you on the path, or have you achieved that highest level possible? And what about salary? That's the easiest one to actually assess, because you're either making what you want or you're not. Like, if your goal is to make $250,000 a year because that's what juices you and that's what you know reflects the value that you're adding, you're either making $250K a year or you're not. And look, you can overcomplicate it. Well, if I look at my space salary, that's not it. But then if I add in the monopoly money and the promise of stock shares, and you know what, I do get like 3 weeks off every, or 3 weeks off every year, and that's worth this amount. Just talk salary. Like, what are your salary goals? And then keep the benefits separate, because people tend to overcomplicate it with those kinds of things, especially when we start talking about stock options, stock grants, paid time off. There's value to that for sure. I don't want to diminish it. But here, this is supposed to be an easy exercise. What's your salary goal minus benefits? If your salary goal is $200K a year and you're not making $200K a year, you're not thriving. So that's a way to take a hard look at it, because we often tell ourselves a story that things are just okay. I can do this, you know, and you know what, I'm surviving, I'm treading water, but that's okay. But then one day the day hits where you notice the steam and you notice the fire and you need to jump out, and you're like, what do I do? And so how about we just not let it get to that point? How about we not let it get that bad? Speaking of stories, here's another story that a lot of us tell ourselves. That's not going to happen to me. That only happens to other people. I'm going to be fine. I'm going to be just fine if I stay on the track that I'm on right now. I may not be thriving, but I'm okay. All those horror stories that we hear about people getting fired, people getting laid off and being on the job market for months and months and months, and going to have to live with their parents, people who get divorced because they get into arguments with their wives, their husbands, their partners about job stuff, whether it be, why don't you finally quit that job, or why can't you just get a job after all? What's going on? Why do you keep complaining about your job? There's horror stories of people ending up in hospital beds because they are so stressed out. They're so burnt out. They didn't even realize that the water was so hot that it boiled, and now they're in a hospital bed because of the stress. Burnout and stress absolutely takes a toll on your physical body. There is no denying that. And we tell ourselves the story, that's not me, that's not going to happen to me. And the sad truth is that it happens to everyone. No one is immune. We're all human. Yes, we have our superpowers and we do everything that we can to tap into them. But at the end of the day, we're all human. We are not immune to the harsh consequences of a reality where every single day you're simply surviving. That catches up with you. It can't not. It's gonna catch up with you. So it's really about looking at the truth. You know, I don't want to make it seem like I'm the Grim Reaper here or like, you know, I'm the bringer of all things evil, right? But I tend to be a very happy, optimistic, and joyous person. For the people who know me, I'm all about the fun. Talk about fun and I'm with you, right? But, you know, even for me, it's important, and it's important for me as a coach to reveal the truth of what's going on in people's lives and in people's careers. And I care about people. I care about you too much to just say, oh, it'll be okay. It'll be fine. Because if you're simply surviving in your tech career instead of thriving, then that's not a place to be. Because if you're here right now and your goal is to achieve transformation in your career, but yet you're simply surviving, that's not going to be good for you, for your physical health, for your mental health, for your spiritual health and well-being. It's taking a toll on it day by day by day, even though you may not be noticing yet. But you know what? I bet you are. I bet if I asked you, how is this showing up in your relationships already? And you really took a hard look in the mirror, you would say, yeah, you know what? I've kind of been ignoring it. But I've been so overwhelmed with my career lately and what's going on at work. I actually can't remember the last time I was able to sit down with my wife, with my husband, with my partner, with my kids, with my best friend. I can't remember the last time that I was able to sit down with that person, this person who I love, and just had a heart-to-heart conversation while I wasn't worried about work. If I asked you, how is this already starting to bleed over into other aspects of your life? You might say something like, yeah, you know what? I'm starting to dread Mondays. Mondays suck. I absolutely hate Mondays. I don't talk about it. I don't complain about it because that's not me. I don't want to be that person. But deep down, I am really starting to just hate Mondays. Because the weekend comes and I love it and I can detach from work a little bit, maybe a lot. And you know, I draw that line. I shut that door on work on Friday evenings at around 5 or 6 o'clock, maybe 7. And then from Friday at 7 o'clock until Sunday evening, it's like a breath of fresh air, and I can exhale again because I don't have to deal with all this stuff that's going on at work and with my career. I don't have to think about it. It's like this weight is lifted. But then come Sunday evening, maybe it's sometime around dinner time, sometime when you're getting ready for bed on Sunday evening, the case of the Mondays starts to come at you already, and you're dreading it, and you hate it. And then Monday comes and back on the hamster wheel. And I'm here to tell you that it absolutely does not need to be this way. It does not. If you feel like you're just surviving, and Kimberly, I see you typed in the comments that you're just surviving. I want to be the one to tell you that it does not have to be this way. You know, in the thousands of calls that I've done with technical managers, folks in technical leadership positions, a lot of times what people want help. You know, how do I get out of this? For sure. And that's what we're here to do. But another thing is people want to hear that there's another way, that there's an alternate way of living and being in your career, because there is a story, and there's a, I don't know if it's partially cultural, it's partially based on who it is that we hang around with. It's partially based on movies like Office Space, where it's like, this is just the norm. Yeah, just another case of the Mondays. That's just what we do. It's been normalized to simply survive. There's been this normalization of career and work survival. And so if that's where you are, you're like, well, that's what everybody's doing. And you just kind of follow the flock. And you follow the flock off a cliff, if that's the direction you want to keep going in. Because no one's talking about thriving and what that feels like. And I'm here to tell you that there is a way to thrive, that the clients that we work with, Rob and I point over there because he's usually sitting over there. He's at work now. He's VPing. he's being badass, VP of engineering. For us, for our friends, and like I said, for our clients, we're thriving, or at least we're on the path. Like, our clients are on the path toward thriving and know how to get there. And when you're thriving, you just know it. It's like, hell yes, I'm thriving. It's like, hell yes, I am making an impact every single day that I go to work. I have a measurable way of showing, of communicating, this is the impact I made today. I could put numbers on it. I could put words to it. If my CEO, if my CTO were to ask me at the end of any given day, what impact did you make today? I'd be able to list off at least 3 things, because I know that this is the impact that I'm making, and it feels so freaking great. In terms of my leadership, yes, I'm thriving, or I'm at least on the path there. Hell yes. I love my team. My team loves me. We'll talk about trust. We trust each other implicitly. My team can come to me, and I can go to my team, and we can tell each other stuff that, honestly, it almost feels like we're like best friends and family. We love each other so much, but it's in a professional kind of manner, right? But we talk to each other, yes, about work and about the challenges of work. And yeah, they trust me to tell me what's going on outside of their work lives as well, because that matters too. And they trust me enough to ask me for feedback, and I can give them negative feedback without fear of them not liking me, or without fear of any repercussions. And that's what it is. I love my team loves me, and we're thriving. My job level, I love where I am at my job level, or at least I have a concrete plan and a system to get to that next job level. Whether it's to manager, to director, to VP, whether it means being assigned more exciting projects instead of the ones that just suck. I have a plan to get there. I love where I am in this video game, this game that is my tech career. I love it. And my salary, don't even get me started. Like, because I'm thriving so much, so in so many other places, in terms of my impact, in terms of my leadership, in terms of the level that I'm playing at on a day-to-day basis in my career and at work, the salary, it's there. It's like a byproduct, because it's a byproduct of the value that I'm adding. And I'm just so grateful to be able to earn $250,000, $300,000 a year as a technical manager. I'm so grateful for it. That's the byproduct. And so when you're thriving, that's what it feels like. And you just know it, and you want to share it with the world. If you're not thriving, then the question becomes, how do you get on the path to get there? And that's what we're here for. That's our mission. I've said it before, I'll say it again. Our mission here at the People Stack is to help tech managers just like you to walk that path toward a thriving career, massive impact, really showing up as the best leader that you can possibly be, reaching the job level that you know you're capable of. And as a byproduct of all of that, reaching the salary levels that truly are a reflection, a recognition of the value and the impact that you're adding as a technical leader. That's what we do. That's what we're helping our clients to do every day, every week. So if you're simply surviving and want to be thriving, it's time for you to book a call with us today. thepeoplestack.com/book. When you book a call, it's either going to be with me or the invisible Rob who's at work right now. One of us will talk with you. We've been doing this for months, years. You know, Rob's been helping out with the business for the past year or so. He's been helping out with those calls for the last 6 months, has done over 400 calls himself. I've been doing these calls for the past 3 years. I stopped counting at like 500, so it's over 1,000. We've served hundreds of clients. We know how to help you get there. So book a call with us, thepeoplestack.com/book. We're going to take a look at what's going on in your career right now. If you're like, all right, I'm just surviving, we're going to get into the details. We're going to visit there a little bit. We're going to visit, okay, how are you just surviving? What does that look like? How is that showing up in terms of your leadership, your impact, your job level, your salary level? We're going to visit there temporarily just so we can get a sense of it. And then we're also going to visit the future as well. We're going to visit what's the dream. When you are thriving, what is that going to look like in terms of all of those things, in terms of your impact, your leadership, your job level, your salary, and, oh, by the way, the rest of your life as well. What does thriving look like for you? And if we're 100% confident that we can help you close that gap to get from where you are right now to where you want to go, we're going to tell you and we're going to show you how. And we're going to map out a plan for you to get there. And then you'll have that plan. You'll have that. If you want our expert assistance to implement that plan, if you want access to our expert support and strategies and systems to accelerate it and make sure that you get it right and you don't fumble through it, we can talk about what that expert guidance would look like as well. But no matter what, you're going to get absolute clarity, absolute value out of this conversation. You're going to have a plan so that you can get from simply surviving in your technical career to thriving. So go ahead and book that call today, thepeoplestack.com/book. That is it for the day, folks. Again, the theme for the week is, are you a frog in hot water? Another way of looking at it is, are you simply surviving in your tech career, or are you thriving? They're important questions to be asking yourself. If you haven't been asking them before, you're asking them now. And if you need some answers, we can help you out. So that's it for the day, folks. Have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your week, and I will catch you for the lives again next week, Monday at 4 p.m. Eastern, and it's Wednesdays at 11 a.m. Eastern. Take care, everyone. Have a great rest of your week.